then we'll start recording talking in 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Why did we all collectively slow down every number?
you guys slowed down first. It wasn't me.
Daniel, you're pretty much the one that slowed down. This is going in the episode, by the way.
Oh, I thought. Wait, is this live? Is this the intro?
We're live.
Is this thing on?
Oh, is this thing on? Okay. Hello. Welcome to the We Bombastic Few podcast, season 2, episode 13.
We're back.
We're back.
We're not dead.
Season finale. Only took us 9 months. Russia was great that time of year.
I mean, honestly, Rick and Morty have basically the same level of season breaks, so
That's
yeah.
we're just as good as Rick and Morty. We deserve as much fan loyalty.
I don't even know how big the fan base is, but I'll take it.
Season 5's coming out soon.
I don't know.
Hype.
Fell off for me a little bit. I might check out season 5. We'll see. I'm the main host, Daniel. And
Doubt.
with me today is another host, Lindsay.
That is I. I am Lindsay.
Not going to
Also
introduce
known as
Lindsay.
the main
last.
host. I forgot that was a joke.
I almost did, and then I was like, wait, this always happens. And then Brent. Be money.
That's me. I'm. You can probably tell there's something different about me just by my voice. We'll get to what that is later. But
Oh
you
my
astute
gosh,
listeners,
you're
you
not
already know that.
gonna mention that.
I don't know what you think I'm gonna mention, but I'm probably gonna mention that and more.
Oh gosh.
Of course.
You guys are in for a treat.
So, little icebreaker. I was I was making some dinner, and I had my friend over. This was over the summer, and I was working, and it was this baked pasta dish, and the dish calls for Italian parsley, and I don't know a lot about cooking ingredients, but I figured. But I went to the grocery store, and they were out of Italian parsley, but they had normal parsley. I was like, oh, this will do, and I made it, and I've made it before, so I know like how to do it. It normally comes out right. And it like came out very, very raw because it uses like a quarter cup of parsley. It's a ton of parsley. And like it wasn't bad, but it was super different. I was like gloomy the whole time. I was like, oh, this just came out so wrong. My friend's like, no, it's good. But no. Point is, parsley is very different from Italian parsley.
I'm surprised they had Italian parsley in Russia.
Okay.
Well,
first off, there's the big difference. Did your friend say, "Oh no, it's good," or did he say, "Oh no, it's good"? Like, how do you say it?
No, I think he liked it. He genuinely liked it.
Oh, okay.
I think. Maybe I'm just gullible. We'll see. It was Anthony. So, you never know with that guy.
Yeah.
Can't trust him.
I honestly would believe that he doesn't actually know anything about cooking.
Yeah, I don't think he even knows anything about food. I don't know if he's ever eaten.
Or eating. Yeah.
He was
sure
faking.
He knows how to eat.
I thought he was eating the food, but like he could have been doing anything with it. I never pay that close attention to what's happening. Brent and Lindsay can attest to that.
Absolutely confirmed. What are today's segments, Daniel?
Today's segments are catching up with what's been going on. It's been like 9 months. I think I said that. But yeah, just talk about life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, you know, the three
All
biggies.
the juicy details.
Yeah. Then we've got a hypothetical, because what's a podcast without a hypothetical? And then we've got, as Brent put it in the agenda here, crazy current events.
Okay. In the agenda, it's got like 87 Z's, and you put too many A's in that, and not nearly enough C's. Can we get a redo on that? A retake?
Crazy current events. Is that
you.
like, I don't know, because you kept alternating the capitals and lower cases, so I don't know if like the volume is right. I don't know.
Well, it's
Different
like
dialects.
you fell asleep during saying the word crazy.
I hear you've got some numbers for us, Brent. Some analytics.
Oh,
Because
You know it. Because I'm a numbers guy with my minor in mathematics.
Oh, okay.
So I actually prepared statistics for this episode back when we thought it was going to be around July 12th when this came out. It is not, believe it or not, it is not July 12th. But anyway, if you're curious,
What?
we have a total of 412 views on YouTube. We
Whoa.
have 2,077 views on Spotify and other podcasting sources for a total of 2,489 views. We have 162 views on the first episode, and we've now been listened to in 37 out of 50 states, 74% of the United States, and 22 out of 195 countries for 11.28% of all countries. And we've had 11 people on the podcast out of 7.53 billion. And unfortunately, changing from last time from 8 to 11, that does not change the percentage of people.
Wait. So that's pretty incredible. We've reached 11% of the world.
This
We've got to be the most
well-
influential people on Earth.
I'm pretty sure Oprah contacted us several times over the 9 months, begging for her to come on our show. But we were like, listen, small potatoes, get out of here. But yeah, we did increase from 16% of the U.S. to 74% of the U.S.
Since July?
And from no, since season 1.
Oh, okay.
And we increased from 1% of all countries to 11% of all countries. And at the end of season 1, we had 349 total views to now almost 2,500, which is pretty crazy. Thank you for everyone listening to this very consistent podcast that didn't die.
Big thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for bragging about all the work I put in, Brent.
Especially
Okay,
while
we're
in
moving
Russia.
What's the bombastic word, Daniel?
Is that me? You didn't put a name next to it, so I just thought, okay. The bombastic word is yonks. Which,
what does it mean?
Yonks is a very long time.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The last episode of the podcast was yonks ago.
Can I get the past participle of it?
The last episode of the podcast was yonks ago.
It's yonkadonk, Brent. That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, yonks.
We could almost do like New Year's resolutions in this.
We could do
podcast.
anything
Yeah,
that's
we-
happened in
we can do whatever we want.
We missed
Is this
so
even
many
the same
holiday
season?
specials.
Yeah. You know what? This is Christmas. This is Thanksgiving. This is all of them. Happy Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, St. Patty's Day, everyone.
Man,
Yeah, there would be a remix of all the holiday songs.
yeah, so we got to put a holiday
momentarily.
song in here somewhere.
We'll see if we can pencil it in at the end of the episode.
Okay.
We're not going to do that, but yeah. New Year's resolution. I'm gonna use the bombastic word every 6th word, yonks.
Okay.
Classic.
And with that, we're gonna do a little catch up. Not the ketchup, but the ketchup.
To catch up.
Yeah, catch up to catch up. Yeah.
This is so unfortunate. I have 2 qualgorithm things that perfectly align with ketchup. That. This is what we call foreshadowing in the movie business.
Yeah.
Oh, is that so?
The
For a
we
future
We
episode.
Bombastic Few / the Bombastic Podcast Saga coming soon to theaters.
Specifically involving ketchup. Anyway, what's ketchup?
This is where we talk about what has happened since yonks ago.
Oh, yonks.
Yeah. Because
Yeah, so
Well,
kind
I
of-
already failed
it's
my
been
New Year's
situated-
resolution. I'm done.
Okay,
you already
so-
missed your resolution.
to start this off.
I did make it to April though, which is a lot farther than most people.
Yeah, that's very impressive. 4 months. That's big time.
To start this segment off, we're going to talk about some things that we've done in the past few yonks. I would say my first story is a very sad, tragic story. I am a very minimalistic person when it comes to items. So because of that, because like I want to know where all my stuff is at all times, and I misplaced my beautiful copy of Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and I spent many of hours, probably like a solid 4 hours, which is a lot for someone like me who never loses anything.
A whole yonk.
And a whole yonk, and I couldn't find it, so I had to go buy my third copy of it. And now I know what you're thinking. I've only explained the losing of one. Well, way back when, I bought it and sold it for the same price I bought it for after I played it. So now I own it again for the third time.
Wow.
Incredible.
What a saga.
What a
roller
harrowing
coaster of
tale of
emotions.
perseverance.
Thank you. That's the summary of the most recent yonks.
The most recent very long time.
Yes. Aside from that, I'd like to let everyone know the podcast got replaced in my life by anime. I have attempted many anime, and I can say it's anime.
Yeah.
He's a weeb. Don't let his nonchalantness
Don't be fooled.
fool you.
We're all weebs, in fact. The three of
At
us.
heart.
Especially Brent.
Nope. Untrue. Honestly, Lindsay watches more anime than me at this point.
Does that, and I thought we agreed that that's not what makes someone a weeb, though.
Oh, yes. The definition of a weeb, as per Kevin, was if you wanted to live inside an anime over your real life.
And
That
I've
was the
never said that I
definition of a
wanted
weeb.
to, and I've never thought I wanted to either. So, by your own definition, I'm not a weeb.
Kevin's. And also, you haven't said it, but I picked up the signals. Anyway, the thing I hinted at earlier, the thing you can definitely tell difference in my voice, I am an educated man. I have graduated college.
Oh, I thought you were definitely going to say
Insert
something else, and I'm so
applause.
glad it's not that. What I
Insert
thought it was.
applause.
Yeah, I don't know what you were thinking of, Lindsay. Before this, Brett was like, "Oh yeah, I have something I'm going to talk about to catch up," and then Lindsay started panicking.
Yeah, congratulations, Brent, on being, or for fooling people that you're an educated man.
Oh, yes. I did a brilliant job at convincing the school board that I know things. So many things about electrical engineering.
20
I
bucks
could-
is 20 bucks.
Let me list off a couple right now. Current. All right. That's all I know.
All right. Yeah, I hope to fool my own school board in the same way here in about a month. So
Well, congratulations. I'll believe that one.
thank you, Lindsay. You know,
The thing is, he's not joking.
yeah, ask me what I learned, Brent, in the last 4 years.
Tell me how do I find torque ratios?
Well, here's what I know, Brent. I know Frosted Flakes or Honey Nut Cheerios probably my favorite cereal, and that's what I've learned in college.
Need
Was
you
it-
know anything more?
I mean, you know, torque ratios,
Qualgorithms, yeah,
gears,
Gears. Something about
Bowman
gear
arms.
ratios. I also learned to do the splits, sort of, kind of. I can.
I'd give
more or
that to
less
you.
Do the splits.
I'd give
Thank
that one to you.
Yep.
You can do the splits.
Brent and I and Christian, if you remember our guest from a few episodes, we all attempted to learn how to do the splits in 30 days. And Christian actually got it. On day
Very
29, I
easily,
injured
mind you.
myself. And Brent, where are you at with that?
Well, I've been doing it for 11 weeks, and I still have, at my best, I think I'm about 3 or 4 inches from the ground, the top of crotch to ground. But I just last week I got to the point where my leg is flush with the ground.
Ooh.
The calf of my leg. So
You know what was
we're getting there.
even worse than like the stretching of the muscles? Like when I got to a certain depth and I had to switch from being on my toes to sitting on the top of my foot, like that wrecked the top of my ankle. Like for weeks
Oh my
after,
goodness.
it just felt bad.
It still hurts every day.
Like
It's so painful.
I think At some point, I'm gonna get back into it, but I'm not gonna do it the brute force method that we were doing. I'm gonna find real methods that.
Someone was telling me that they were reading a study that you only need to do 1 minute per muscle 4 or 5 to 6 times a week to be max efficient. So about 4 minutes, because you need to do like a forward and backward stretch with each leg, basically, and that is technically the maximum you can gain in flexibility. Which is dumb because I've been doing it 15 minutes every day for so long.
Dude, I was pushing myself. I had gone up. I was doing 20 minutes a day by the end of it.
It just gets to be so much time investment.
It is, especially with like the warm ups and like I had a couple people I was doing it with at school, and so it was like lining up our schedules, working around that. It was fun though. I enjoyed it.
For sure.
Which, other than that, what new with me? I started buying random cheap crypto that I've never heard of. Because I learned what crypto, like I finally learned like a bit more about crypto, so I actually knew kind of what it was, and then I got myself comfortable enough to buy it. So
can you give us a crypto 101 really quick for the audience members?
yes, basically,
because I totally know what they are. Like I know everything about them. Totally.
It's like a yeah, you know, for the audience, because
For the audience.
it's like standard currency, but it's like decentralized. They can be based on like different things, and the whole idea is it was a while ago that I educated myself. There are these things called blockchains, and like every transaction is recorded in the blockchain, and the way you can verify that transactions are legit is every single person who like mines is verifying transactions, and that's the only way it goes through. So when you mine, you verify a transaction, and then you have to have so many verifications before a transaction goes through, and then the miner gets like rewards for like succeeding so many times.
Like a pony?
Yeah, there's good videos about it on YouTube that can explain it much better. I may have already goofed in the explanation. It's been a while, but
No, I'm pretty sure everyone at home now knows how to mine their own bitcoins.
yeah. Everyone at home, don't mine bitcoins because that uses like intense amounts of energy. Like and you're also driving up the prices of graphics cards, which is a pain for gamers.
Everyone.
Let's not talk about graphics card prices. Anyway, Lindsay, you've got a BuzzFeed quiz to round us off.
Oh, I do.
Well, probably won't spend a ridiculous amount of time on it.
All right,
but
we're going to find what energy color we radiate.
Specifically, what aura? I think aura is a vital word to make sure people at home know it's legit.
I quoted part of it.
The title of the test is the aura test.
The aura test.
This is the one.
The aura test.
Folks have been asking for this for ages, and we finally buckled down.
Yeah.
We're doing the aura test.
Exclusive
What's the first
on
question?
the We Bombastic Few podcast and BuzzFeed.
And BuzzFeed. So the first question is, I feel more comfortable living in a big city than a small town. And the way the quiz works is you have a slider, and you can either pick or keep it at neutral or slide it more towards agree or more towards disagree.
Which is
I
why
slightly disagree.
there's like 50 notches that the slider can land on. So I can get down to like 2% accuracy
Yeah.
of how much I agree or disagree.
And that's the only way you could accurately find out an aura. That means
I mean, you
think
have
we
to
could
know
find out
to
auras
pretty
without
fine
that
detail.
high accuracy.
You know, there are so many colors, like an infinite amount. You know,
Where do you think suburb falls on the scale of disagree to agree on? I feel more comfortable living in a big city than a small town.
I did slightly disagree, but I think it's the same thing that you're trying to get at.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm gonna
I
move
picture
it.
small town like less than 10,000 people.
Yeah.
That's why I only
So-
slightly disagreed with it. I like being like in a somewhat more populated area.
I'm going to assume suburbs is 3 ticks towards disagree from neutral.
Oh, yeah.
3 ticks.
I don't know. I would think of suburbs as being closer to big city than small town.
Okay, I've changed my answer. I'm now 3 ticks towards agree.
Okay,
Over
I'm
neutral.
leaving at mine. Slightly disagree.
All right, that's
Being
fine.
successful means having a lot of money. I feel like today's society kind of like implies that, but in my own eyes, I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
like the question
I think it's
implies
a-
that that's not necessarily the case.
It feels like in many cases, it's almost as if money definitely means that you were successful, but not having money doesn't mean that you weren't successful. Of course, you could have just inherited money, but
Yeah, but like I could think of someone as successful without having money. So I'm gonna go
Yeah.
pretty towards disagree. Or yeah, I'll just go full disagree because it's not
I
necessarily
agree with
true.
your disagree.
I half agree with your disagree from neutral.
Let's agree that we all agree to disagree.
I agree.
Disagree.
Yes, me too.
I tend to have vivid dreams that I can remember the next day.
Absolutely.
Slight
full-on
slight
agree.
disagree.
I'm gonna go 75% disagree.
I've been losing my teeth in my dreams.
Dude, that happened to me over break.
No, I don't want to. You lost your teeth over break?
Yeah.
Haha. Hate that. Anyway.
Yeah, I should have mentioned
I
it
roll-
in the catch up. I don't have any teeth anymore.
I don't have any teeth.
That's a
Do you have, like,
wild
wooden
fact.
teeth?
I
Are
forgot.
you
It's
George
so normal
Washington?
to me now.
I think that's a false fact, but I rely on my gut instinct when it comes to making tough decisions. And I'd just like to say the image they have supporting this is a person cupping a rainbow. And I don't know what
Okay,
it means.
your description definitely would not put an image in anyone's mind. You know how like light reflects through like a window sometimes
A
and
prism.
it's weird, or a prism and makes that rainbow? It's like a person cupping their hands and it's like shining the rainbow on it. But they didn't catch all of it, so some of the rainbow hit the wall.
Okay. It
Yeah, I
sounds
didn't
okay.
even catch
Your
all the
explanation of
rainbow.
it was just like a more like fluffed up version of Brent's. Like the same. I got
no,
the same thing.
Do you think you can? You think you can do better?
All right, let's get a third independent description. of this
Okay.
picture.
Okay. This person is cupping their hands, where some rainbow lighting is hitting their hands, and is catching majority of the rainbow.
You just split the difference between us.
Yeah,
two.
that.
I purposely did that.
Anyway, I rely on my gut instinct. I'm gonna say
Half disagree.
1 tick towards disagree.
One tick. Whatever.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 1 tick towards agree.
Okay. Let's continue on. I've experienced deja vu quite a few times in my life. Strong
hasn't?
agree. I all the time.
Dude, it used to be almost never, but in the last like month, it's happened several times. Like I'd never experienced it. That it just like happened.
See, I don't get it very often, but when I do, it's a very strong feeling, as if it's like my alternate life is peeking through the multiverse.
It was so okay. So I'm standing in line to pick up my stuff for graduation, like the robe and cap and whatnot. And I don't have anyone I know next to me in line, so I'm just kind of looking around, seeing what's to see. And this person walks by. I'm like, okay. And I get distracted by something else. And I turn to the same area, and that person walks by. And it happened like 4 or 5 times. Like I finish interacting with someone, I look, and that person walks by. Yeah. So
Is there a set of quad children? What's a triplets and then
Quadruplets?
Quadruplets. That's the one. Is there a set of quadruplets at your school?
identical quadruplets? I don't think so. One of my friends has like her parents were going for like a 3rd child, and then they had quadruplets.
Unfortunate. Assuming you only wanted one more child.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
don't really
amazing.
know what happened, but I think that might have been the last children they had so far.
Okay, when it comes to love, I'm usually the one who makes the first move.
Yes, I suppose so.
I'm stuck here because the current situation, typically the first move is not me, but like majority of the time my personality would lean more towards I would, but it says usually, so I'm gonna go with half agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna go half agree, just because like yes, but also it's a pretty small sampling size on my end.
Yeah, well, sure, why not? Half agree. Wait, what?
I have a bad
I thought that
temper,
said-
but I don't hold grudges.
I thought that said I have a bad Templar.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a
I do
bad
not have a.
bad Templar. He's hiding out
do-
because the Templars are after him.
I do not have a bad temper, but I also don't hold grudges. So where do I lie?
I guess just hard disagree.
That's what I'm doing, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go 43 ticks to disagree.
Okay.
All right. I thrive
I-
off of having a daily routine. Also, that was very fast
No.
counting to 43.
Heavy
A
disagree.
math minor, what can I say?
Heavy disagree. No daily routine aside from
ab-
going to work.
100% agree. I am nothing without a routine.
No, I'm gonna go full send disagree. I had a routine over the summer, and it was pretty not enjoyable.
Okay, there's like 7 left, so we'll try and hurry these up. I would consider myself to be an imaginative person. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Somewhat agree.
There's a person holding a cloud. I've held a cloud before.
I am a cloud. Cloud's my middle
I
name.
don't
anyone
like-
tell you different.
I don't like being in the spotlight. Strong agree.
75% disagree.
Yeah,
No, 100% disagree, Brent. You gotta swipe it all the way. Don't lie to us.
99% disagree.
I'm gonna
I'll
go.
take that.
I'm gonna go half disagree. 'Cause I like entertaining, but I don't like giving serious presentations. You know?
Mm-hmm. You want the right attention.
Yeah. Or I guess that would make me
I've-
neutral. Okay. Yeah, I go neutral.
I have problems falling asleep at night.
It's a very rare occasion that I have a hard time falling asleep.
Hard agree. I have a hard time falling asleep, like every night.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd say I have a hard time falling asleep, but it always takes me a long time,
Yeah.
which I guess
Yeah.
might be.
It takes me a long time. That's kind of what I was going off of. It takes me a long time.
Me too.
Okay. We all have different criteria. It's fine. I'm still going hard agree. I've noticed that I pick up on patterns that most people miss.
Heavy agree.
I bet I'm gonna go 100% agree, just because I bet you guys didn't even notice the picture. It's all bouncy balls.
Oh yeah, but they're all at different heights though.
Brent, those aren't bouncy balls. Those are like the balls in a ball pit, obviously. Look at that window.
The
how big are the if those were bouncy balls, those would break the window.
It might be Orbeez.
Orbeez?
You know those
Okay,
little, like,
continuing on.
Oh, like the little ones filled with glitter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, those would still break the window, but half agree? I guess. I don't know. I don't want to think about it. Next one.
I'd rather work with my hands all day instead of sitting at a desk. I'm gonna be completely neutral.
Mostly agree.
I'm going to go half disagree. I used to think the other way, but I don't think that's true. I've forged strong connections with animals throughout my life. Hard agree.
Hard
Somewhat
disagree.
agree. Somewhat agree.
Man.
Like I like animals in general, but there's no animal that I'm like super attached to.
Every cat
Hope your
that
dog
ever
isn't
existed
listening.
is my best friend.
I'd agree.
And if I had the chance to find out what my future holds, I'd want to know.
Disagree 100%.
It depends on what that is like. Is it date of death, or is it like you will win the lottery if you buy a ticket tomorrow at 7
Disagree.
a.m.?
I think disagree.
Go a little bit agree. 22 ticks agree.
I'm a pretty cool color. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I think the only boring colors would just be primary colors. So, Daniel, what are you?
I got green. Green is not a primary color.
Continue. No, you're very special.
Well, as we know, green is not a creative color. Shout out to Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Oh, yeah.
My green aura represents growth, balance, and nature. I've always been creative and have a keen eye for beauty and aesthetics. Should I read the whole thing?
It highlights.
Curiosity is a word in there.
That's, all right.
I like that. What a great summary. Moving on.
I prefer an
All right.
organized and efficient environment. Maybe. I don't know. Doubtful.
All right.
Yeah. What do you got? Either of you.
Your boy is Violet. Your Violet aura.
Same.
Oh my god. What? We have the same auras?
Yeah, Lindsay's definitely more of a violet than Brent.
I agree. Brent's like a red or black aura.
I'd say so. Like a magenta kinda.
Maybe a maroon.
Yeah.
You watch yourself. We'll have to rename the podcast We Bombastic Violets and a Green.
I prefer Daniel and the Diabetics.
Nope. The Violet aura embodies creativity and imagination. Biggest strength is your intuition. So much so that sometimes you might feel like it borders on psychic abilities.
Sure.
Yep.
That's how
me.
I describe Lindsay.
Yeah, that's something. But BuzzFeed knows all. I mean, this is the aura test.
I mean, it wouldn't be the aura test if it weren't, tippity top, the best one to take.
100% accurate. Exactly.
All of humanity's progress and all scientific discovery has has culminated
this
into
single quiz.
the aura test on BuzzFeed.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and there you go, folks. You know our auras now.
2 violets and a green.
Two violets and a green. And with that, we'll go into the bombastic quote, which was said by a very special listener. You know who you are. Are closed captions for blind people? Yep. Ruminate on that one, folks. Is there an answer to that one? We don't know.
Marinate on it.
I mean,
Nope, Daniel. We don't know if there's an answer to it. It's one of those life's great mysteries.
the world may never know. It's like,
All right, and now the moment you've been waiting 9 months for, a hypothetical.
Gasp,
by-
gasp.
Yeah.
are you serious?
You didn't even know you were going through withdrawals, but you were. That.
I'm jonesing.
I was gonna make a bad joke, but we're not gonna do that. Anyway, so this week's hypothetical. If you didn't know it, We Bombastic Few is back. You know what that did? That was a major shift in the timeline. That wasn't supposed to happen, and Mother Earth wasn't happy about it. And so this could be a blessing, could be a curse. We'll talk about it. But the Mother Earth decided to tie every single human on the planet, tie their life force to a random plant. And so long as that plant is alive and doing well, the person is alive and doing well. If the plant is sick, the person is sick. And if the plant dies, the person dies. And so, for example, your random plant you might have been assigned is a tree. And you do know which plant you were assigned. And so you now need to keep that tree alive, because if that tree dies, you die. So how is Blockbuster coming back?
So wait, does this work vice versa? Like if something happens to me, something happens to my plant?
So you are basically I haven't fully decided, but I want to say you are basically invulnerable. It's your plant that is vulnerable.
So you're just mirroring the current state of the plant.
The plant,
Okay.
correct. If you don't get enough if your plant doesn't get enough sun one day, you might feel droopy.
Well, plant biology all of a sudden became a much more lucrative degree.
Yeah.
Like plant doctors, like everyone needs those. Like if your tree's about to die, like you're in a bad spot.
The one thing I've Googled this before, I don't remember the exact answer, and I'm gonna Google it again. Do trees die of old age? The answer is complicated, but yes. Yeah, so you can still die of old age. You can't keep a plant alive forever, which makes sense. Well, because there's what's the one tree? It's the largest organism in in the world, and it's a forest, but it's all technically the same tree. I think that guy is now the most powerful person on Earth, because until you carpet bomb a forest, he is alive and doing well.
And then some people are just kind of screwed, because I just looked it up, and the plant with the shortest lifespan, it has a seed-to-seed lifespan of about a month.
Oh, gosh. That's so unfortunate. Well, okay, so this just happened as soon as we released this episode of the podcast. And so, I'm going to say you obviously have a connection with your plant. You know where your plant is. So I think everyone's first action is going to be to obtain their plant. Or would you just, what if it's like a tree and you can't really transplant a tree easily? Would you want to go live next to your tree?
I would imagine, like, depending on how long it takes you to find it, you're most probably going to... Well, first off, we got to talk about, like, how do you identify it? Like, that's got to be, like, I feel like a pretty big deal. I guess you could kind of find out, like, with circadian rhythm, you might start feeling more tired when the sun's down both ways. But,
well, that's a good point. What if you're, like, a mushroom and you get bursts of energy at night or something?
Yeah. But, yeah, I was thinking... you would, like, say you can't find it for a good few years. Like, the tree's deeply rooted, I'd imagine, so to some extent. So I feel like you might as well just, like, set up shop there.
I'm using tree as an example, but there are so many people on Earth that are blades of grass.
Yeah, well, think about this. Say there's someone who likes to partake in using substances derived from plants. You know, smoking the whole...
Whatever could you mean?
Perhaps, let's say tobacco smoker. You know, now smoking kills. It just kills other people.
Well, no, harvesting plants, period, kills other people.
Yes.
Which food supply is going to become a problem. Because because you can't really... Is it algae? Are some people algae?
I guess, yeah, if you are, like, an underwater plant is tied to you, are you able to breathe underwater?
I'd assume so.
Well, I guess,
the question is, can you breathe?
No, I think it's just the status, like, how they're doing. It's not like
that makes
their
sense.
abilities.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You don't get superpowers based on your plant.
But then, are you still tied to the plant after you die? Because then, like... Let's say someone cuts down a tree and then starts a fire. Like, do they just cremate your body?
Once the plant dies, the connection is severed.
Okay.
And so you are no longer connected. But there would basically be a class system almost of there are people who live several hundred years. There are people who live about 100 years or so, and then there are people who have a 1-year lifespan or less.
And people who don't know yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, because I was saying you know where your plant is, but you don't know what your plant is.
So if you're like in the middle of the jungle, if your plant's in the middle of the jungle, like you just know what area you need to protect, and like...
Yeah.
Or maybe like there's a forest, and let's say a deer just comes by and eats your plant.
Yep. Yeah, I think deforestation is no longer a problem.
Or maybe it would be, and there maybe Like Dr. Evil comes and he's just deforesting everything.
Just murdering people efficiently. But the thing is, there are so many plants in existence. There are so many more plants than people, and so there are still plenty of plants that are safe to die. But we don't know. Like, you don't know if in your, let's say in your yard, all of that grass, odds are a lot of that grass is not people, but odds are there is at least 1 or 2 people in your yard. So you can't cut your grass anymore, which is awesome. You no longer have to cut your grass.
I just feel like you almost, like, you can't even claim property at this point because you would have to, like, clear area to build a building or something. It would more so, like, you'd have to build tree houses and stuff, right?
Would you live in your own lively plant?
I think I would. I would feel really connected with my plant. Like, if I had a tree, I would totally love to build a tree house in there at the expense of someone else's tree for the materials.
Well, I know, but... Well, yeah, but they're probably going to, like, you probably have a supply of plants passing away, so...
Weed killer companies went out of business instantaneously.
Which means there's a whole lot of open real estate. And...
Yep, because everyone knows that 9% of all real estate on Earth is taken up by weed killer companies.
And because of all this open real estate, and as everyone knows, like, there are, like, chain blockbusters, but there are also franchise blockbusters. And so there are these, open places where mom and pop shops can open up a blockbuster franchises. And because, since everyone's going to be living in tree houses, it's not going to be easy to run Wi-Fi up into everyone's tree house. And so we'll need to start renting videos again.
Yeah, clearly.
Yep, we're doing good. And Blockbuster's back. Sports. What do we think about sports?
Well,
I mean,
everyone plays on turf now.
I was going to say, yeah, we no longer have grass fields. How many sports are played on grass currently?
So, like, what happens when someone's born? Like, when you're born, do you just get tied to a plant?
Yep, random plant. Because there are a bunch of unassigned plants. I wonder how many plants there are on Earth.
Do you think they have an estimate for that? It's got to be, like, in the
guessing.
trillions or more.
On Earth. How many planets are on Earth? 1. Okay. There are 391,000 species. Yeah, because that's... I don't even know how you would go about estimating how many plants there are on Earth. And I have a minor in mathematics.
Yeah, like,
okay, that's dead for this episode.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the best plant to be is?
I think it would have to be a just bigger tree of some sort.
Yeah, like the redwoods.
Yeah, but I don't know, because we do still need, like, wood. And so it does feel like eventually there's a chance that trees there's like the government makes some regulation where they're allowed to cut down 10 trees per year, and it's like, if that's you, sorry, but we do need wood.
But say you're a redwood and you're out in I think it's Yosemite, that's out in California. Like, that's a national park, and those trees are protected anyways. So no one's going to try and cut down your tree for wood, and you'll live a long time.
Okay, here's one thing. So you don't really want to walk on grass. You don't really want to walk on plants anymore because you could kill someone. And so everyone has to stick to sidewalks, but eventually plants can, like, grow in between the cracks of sidewalks. Will we eventually run out of walking space?
Well, maybe, but also if, like, I'd imagine, like, if the plants are strong enough to break that, they'd also be able to withstand
hardy
a step.
enough to withstand a foot stepping.
Yeah.
I mean, is this just a rest of time? Everyone's just tied to a plant?
Yeah.
Man, we really made Mother Earth mad by
starting the podcast.
started the
again.
podcast.
You mean gender neutral nature?
Gender neutral maternal figure.
In charge of nature.
Here we go. Human food is just over 5,000 of the species of the 391,000. So food's a really tricky thing.
Yeah, I don't know what to do for that. We'd have to synthetically create all of our food because, obviously eating plants is kind of taboo. And since animals live off of eating plants, I mean...
Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. Like, cows just grazing on grass? Like, we might need to kill every cow just to save people.
Gotta kill all the vegetarians.
Yeah, that was implied. Step number 1, murder all vegetarians. Sorry, Brianna. But it's for the greater good. Yeah, because you wouldn't really... Because...
It would kill off, both directly and indirectly. It'd kill off a lot of people.
You'd almost need to just... It almost might even need to become just the new way of life. There's just a chance that you drew a short straw, you were a piece of grass, and you will be food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
it's
going to
kill
world
off
works now.
a large portion of the human... Well, I mean, there's enough plants to divvy around that it might take a while, but when you think about it, given enough time, the main survivors are going to be people who have plants they can actually protect.
Yeah.
Well, specifically people who can get to their plant and protect it.
Yeah.
So,
because I mean, if I'm a piece of seaweed, just somewhere deep down, or kelp, which is seaweed. Anyways, I can't protect that. What am I going to live in a submarine and fight off whatever eats kelp?
Okay, let's go back to
SpongeBob?
this though. So if a cow eats a blade of grass, say she gender neutral cow bites halfway through the blade of grass, will that blade of grass die, or that blade of grass grow again?
It would probably keep growing, but the question is what happens. I think the person got cut in half.
Because I think I feel like that goes back to it's still alive is what I'm trying to get at.
If the plant gets sick, you get sick.
Well, yeah, but it's not technically sick though. It was it was made to grow back and feed, so it has a ability to I don't know, I feel like it might not have much energy of a person when you tie it to a person, but I don't think they would die.
So, hey Phil, what's wrong? You seem kind of down in the dumps this week. Cow,
my blade of grass,
my life force. I have to regenerate it.
Actually,
I just don't think it's that.
So if whatever happens to the plant happens to the person, then the plant growing, does that mean the person grows?
No, because we just talked about abilities and stuff. So we're there's no way.
The answer is no, but for the sake of entertainment, really quick, the redwoods are now 100-foot people.
Well,
So
I think the people in the best shape. Well, okay, so the easiest to survive would be people who get tied to an already large redwood. But imagine you get tied to a smaller redwood, and as it grows, you let's say it grows 10%, then you've grown 10%, and then so if you're a baby redwood and it gets to be pretty large over a few years, you are massive. And that is a lot of energy to keep up. And as we said, there's just not going to be enough food to sustain. So you might be powerful for a bit, but you'll die out pretty fast. Another direction we could go is if you mow the lawn and cut someone's arm off, does grass growing back grow their arm back?
Yeah. Well, because that was my initial thought so a cow ate half a blade of grass. You were cut in half. You're still alive. You just don't have above the waist.
So wait, when the grass grows back, does your waist grow back the top of your body, and the top of your body grows back below the waist?
Yeah. Oh.
So now there's two of you.
That's a good point. Where is the center of mass that your life force is tied to? If you cut Deadpool in half, Well, the what I think whatever the head is attached to. That's how they do it in Deadpool.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna say that's how it works in plant world.
Everything we do in life should be based on Deadpool.
Deadpool. That'd be so unfortunate. Just be
Any final thoughts?
I want to be a tree, and I think everyone else on Earth does too.
Yes, a tree with 3 C's bark.
Mm-hmm.
How long do Venus flytraps live for?
There was so much. What's a plant person? Studier of plants.
Botanist.
Well, that's flowers, isn't it?
I think botanist is general plant. Venus flytraps live for 20 years.
That sounds like a decent lifespan for being able to say that you're tied to a Venus flytrap.
No.
Worth.
Yep.
I want to be a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, really anything but a blade of grass, I think, is what I've decided. Or algae.
And then I die before my midlife crisis. Bam.
Bada bing, bada boom. And there you go. I bet you didn't know you weren't going to get that much botany in one episode. But here you are.
Here we are. And on that note, I believe we had a sponsor for this episode, Lindsay?
Yep.
This week's episode is brought to you by Carefree Car. The most common frustration with a personal means of transportation is the amount of care and attention it needs. From checking tire pressure and refilling them to replacing parts that can cost a bank-breaking amount. Personally, I was spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars to keep my car running and would have spent much more in order to keep it also comfortable and stylish. However, all these costs and worries disappeared when I bought myself a Carefree Car. Carefree Cars are cars without anything that may need maintenance. I bought mine 62 weeks ago and since have put no extra work or money into it because my car no longer needs it. Set up an appointment with Cold Tires to get yourself a quote for a worryless car.
Wow, that sounds like an incredible product. Now, do you still have to fill the gas tank on that?
No, not at all.
Wow.
It's one of those new ones.
It's a new model of Carefree Car.
Yeah, there's electric, there's fuel based ones, and then there's like the hybrids, and this one is like a whole new one.
Yeah, you just give it plants. It draws life force from human life that you put inside it. That's how it works.
you lose years off your life as you drive. For every year you drive it, you lose a year off your life. But
that's totally a future hypothetical. Save that. Next episode, I know what we're doing.
All right, we'll say that. We'll save that. Next episode, which will be season 3, episode 1. The reckoning. The car reckoning.
Spoilers for conclusion, but we are running a bit late, so let's get a quick, crazy current event.
Okay. So let me read the headline. Georgia man who received 91,515 pennies as a final paycheck cashes out.
Did he die?
Did he die?
Like,
what do you think cashes out means?
I don't know. The way you delivered it made it sound like he died.
No. Coinstar came to the aid of Andreas Flatten, who found the gargantuan pile of oil-soaked pennies on his driveway, courtesy of his former employer. So this guy lives in Georgia, and his former employer was disgruntled and delivered almost 92,000 pennies to his house and left it on his driveway with a note attached to them that read, F you.
Interesting.
What did he do to this guy? Wait, hold on.
How'd they obtain that many pennies?
I mean, I guess you just go to each bank and be like, I want $100 in pennies, and then you do that like 9 or 10 times. I don't know. How many pennies do you think a bank keeps in stock?
Can't be 92,000.
So the pennies were covered with an oily substance, and he had to spend an hour or two every night trying to clean the pennies, and probably only cleaned about $5 worth of them.
I was gonna say, depending on how long it takes to cash these in, it genuinely might not be worth your time. If it took hours to do $5, you should get a new job, and those pennies just live in your front yard now.
So let's see. Yeah, I guess the boss just kind of hated this guy based on some comments from something his girlfriend said. But anyways, that's kind of wild. Like, just imagine, like, I quit. I'll take my final paycheck to my house. And the employer's like, "Oh, you'll get your final pay to your house, all right."
Don't you worry.
All right.
I once asked, I got a $100 check, and I went to the bank and asked for $100 in ones. I was probably like 10 or something. I don't remember. But what I do remember is the teller's face when she said, or she heard I wanted it in ones. She was beyond unhappy, and I cannot imagine had I gone and said even $100 in pennies.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. At least pennies they keep in rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd probably be a much faster process to get than the dollars. But what substance did he, like, what oily thing did he cover all the pennies in? Did he just have like a giant vat of used motor oil or something?
I don't want to know what the oily substance was on these pennies.
It was just homegrown sweat and grease. All right, next crazy current event. Deer crashes through school bus windshield and lands on sleeping student. Quote, "I was really confused." End quote. Virginia high school student Brendan Martin said after the wild incident interrupted his nap.
Oh, gosh.
What is there to say about that one? Oh, man, that guy's going to be a writer in the future.
I was really confused because I was trying to sleep and I woke up to something on my back. I realized it was a deer and was just very confused because I'd never seen a deer actually jump through a windshield and then land.
Windshield?
Yeah.
Was he in a car?
It was a bus.
Oh, I thought it was in class.
Can you imagine?
I don't know. They're equally insane.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be more insane if a deer jumped through the window of your classroom and then landed on your back.
Less so than a bus.
Well, at least the bus is traveling at 20 to 50 miles an hour probably.
Yeah.
Despite the crazy incident, Martin said he'll still look for his favorite seat at the front of the bus. The front of the bus is where it's at. The bus drivers always have interesting stories to tell, You ever talk to a bus driver?
Nope.
No, I specifically discriminate against bus drivers.
Wow. I don't know.
Honestly, I think bus drivers discriminate against people.
They can be pretty grouchy, but then again, they do put up with children day in, day out.
Oh yeah.
So it's understandable.
I'm joking about that discrimination.
Yeah. No,
if there are any bus drivers out there, we love you.
Shout out to bus drivers.
And Brent's mom.
Special shout out. And Brent's mom, but it's not the conclusion yet.
But
But psych, that's the plot twist. It
is
now
the conclusion.
Whoa!
Transitions, everyone.
Well, yes, welcome to the conclusion, the place where we say our goodbyes.
No.
For now.
Don't say goodbye.
Till next time.
Will it be another 9 months?
We don't know. That's the thing. Yeah, if you're into social media, do that stuff. You follow it. You comment on it.
What are we on? Is the
it.
Twitter still banned?
No, it was the Instagram.
Oh, the Instagram.
So I went to a little side story before we fully wrap this up. I went to log into the Instagram, and I was pretty sure about the password, and I plugged everything in, and it some thing popped up. I didn't even read it because I just thought it was I'm wrong password. I was like, oh, I'll just try something else. But I retried things, nothing worked, and I went back to it, and I tried the initial one again, and I saw the pop up again, and it was like, your account has been fully deactivated or whatever due to suspicion of getting false follows or something like that. And strange enough, I logged in one way with just the email, and then one time with the handle, the username, and the first one or whichever one I did, it did that. But when I did it with the other one, it let me in fine. So it's not. But it's definitely telling us that it is blocked or banned one route. I don't know. It's strange.
They might have found out what Daniel was actually doing in Russia. He was hiring server farms that to click and give us likes on our probably. I don't know if we have posts, and I highly doubt if we have posts, we have likes on posts. So
yeah,
I mean, there's a couple.
There's
Hey, I was hard at work in Russia. We got a whole 19 followers.
Before they found out, Instagram's just really on it these days.
They're on top of things. They caught the botting that fast.
Yup. They're like, no one listens to this podcast. These aren't real likes.
Sad. Sad face.
But
continuing on from there, final thoughts, boys.
We're sorry it took 9 months.
I'm not sorry. It's worth the wait.
Yep. So this is technically your 9-month long. Or actually, yeah. All right. Plot twist. We're gonna record for 9 months to make up for the 9 months we were gone.
Oh,
Hope you guys brought snacks.
We're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
It was actually the manager forgot to extend our contracts, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a contract deal. Issues with our parent company, Bombastic Few. We
Incorporated.
Incorporated. Then anyway, seriously, so this is season 2 finale. Congratulations if you made it this far. You get the golden podcast listening.
Yeah, you leveled up in podcast
badge.
listening.
You get a badge. Lindsay, get on that. Get them badges.
Gold stars.
Yes, sir. Gold stars for everyone.
And so we are going to attempt a season 3. Probably.
He says hesitantly, as we haven't fully discussed that yet.
The thing we were going to talk about after recording this episode.
Exactly. But, so basically, I say this without knowing to say, if in a week or two you get bored, maybe check your podcasting app. See if there's a new one by your old We Bombastic Few. Because we are not dead. We are, in fact, very well.
And also,
Indeed.
shout out to the people still listening to our catalog of episodes, because when we all got back together and checked it out and saw we're still regularly getting listens, that was kind of wild. At least for me, it was kind of wild.
And it at least looks like people are sharing the podcast too. So, or people are just discovering it. Either way,
I don't know. We went from, what was it, 17 or 14% of the United States to 74%. Doesn't seem like you guys are sharing very well. Can we get on that? I want to cover 100% of the United States plus territories.
I'll sit down with the manager and see what we can do. What we can fix about that.
Yep. Get more clicks. But anyway, it was good to be back. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm not addressing either
Brent.
of you.
As the main host, I feel comfortable
I'm addressing
saying...
the podcast, not either of you.
Well, yeah. I feel I speak for the podcast.
In order to shut them up, I will let you guys all know we wish you a bombastic week.
Yeah.
See you next time. Will Smith, come to the podcast.
Please.